My name is Bryan. I'm a personal trainer based out of Northeast Philadelphia, and this is my story of me winning against cancer. Let me take you guys back to 2005, 2006. Around that same time, I was in 5th grade. That was the first day I realized there was definitely something wrong. It's always going up in pain. And I feel a lot of pain in my life most days until one day I pretty much collapsed on the floor on my way back to school. After going to several different hospitals, they ended up diagnosing. I started developing a tumor in my left knee. Now, the next few weeks, I ended up getting diagnosed with osteosarcoma. Ended up being a bone cancer. Obviously, at that time, being 9 or 10 years old, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know how severe it was, but that was definitely the beginning of a whole different chapter of my whole life. Alright, after I say the next few weeks, after going through several different tests, different x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs, waiting for someone to tell me the exact answer that we wanted to know. I'm being one day called to St. Christopher's Hospital. They brought me and my parents along, and I realized they didn't want me to be inside of the same room while the doctors talked to my parents. That day they both came back in, and they both had the tears on their faces. And that was the first time the doctor actually ended up telling them that, hey, your son actually has cancer. And within those next few weeks, I started my first treatment of chemotherapy. Now, at that time I didn't know what that was, but I knew it couldn't be great if my parents were crying. After about a month of going in and out of the hospital, I ended up getting told I was going to be getting a surgery. Now, it was the first surgery, a small one, to determine what kind of cancer it was. And the second one was going to be them actually trying to remove it. But within the next few months, they determined the severity of it was actually a whole lot worse to begin with. So when it came to probably 3 or 4 months into me taking chemo was the first time I actually had to get my surgery, and it ended up being a whole lot more bigger than I expected. They ended up removing a pretty big part of the bones in my leg. I ended up losing most of my knee, probably half my whole entire femur, and part of my tibia as well, and they replaced it with a rod. They definitely told me I had to start taking physical therapy. Now, learning how to walk, learning how to stand, learning how to balance again, learning how to deal with the pain that came with that surgery was definitely very tough. It took me probably a few months just to be able to stand up again, a few months just to be able to walk again, feel normal again. It was definitely a struggle. Within those few months, I started also developing hearing loss. Now, being at a very young age and also being on chemo as well, it started developing a lot of side effects. On top of me losing my hair, my hearing also suffered a pretty good amount. Now, within a few months after my surgery, I started always asking the question, what did you say? Can you say it again? And I had to get a hearing test, and they told me I started having very profound hearing loss just because of the chemotherapy. Aside from all those countless struggles after the surgery, I was very blessed to have such supportive parents, a supportive brother. Now, even my elementary school at that time was very supportive. We all came through, donated money to help me and my family out as well. I'm very appreciative of all the cool doctors and nurses I had throughout, that hard time. I was kind of done my last chemo within like 8 or 9 months into my diagnosis, which was very, a big blessing. Being able to go home and also be, cancer free. I started my remission. Able to come home, start trying to feel normal again. I remember the first day back in school, I always got into my class to a standing ovation, with everybody being 6th graders. It was crazy. I literally just turned around and started crying. I was very happy to be back. seeing everybody again, not instead of four walls inside of the hospital. Growing up, going through certain hardships, being at a young age, it definitely took my smile away at certain points, and it took me plenty of years to try to find that smile again. And once I found that, I never wanted to let it go. So I make sure, never felt sorry for myself. I always do smile. I never, stop smiling, but every single day is always a blessing. It really is. People always say like, sometimes winning isn't everything. Now, you telling me that winning is everything to somebody who has cancer. Every single day you want to win that day. You want to win that week. You want to win, you just want to win something. It's really important to me to win. It doesn't matter what it is, but it really is important. Waking up one day, I was definitely overweight after high school. Definitely very tough on my leg. I noticed it. It's very hard to walk for long distances. Woke up, I was like, hey, I'm gonna definitely start exercising. It's time to get this thing straight, because I really want to be able to walk without any pain, be able to pretty much run, with no pain. I'll say about a year. I started off weighing close to 200 pounds. Took me about like 6 to 8 months to really drop down to like a low 140, and I started really loving it. The way I felt, from physical fitness, from weightlifting, was amazing. I definitely felt strong. Training, it wasn't something that my body wasn't always so comfortable doing. Growing up through high school, but I was first introduced into training back in high school. I definitely had very cool friends. My friend Angel and Lewis, back in school, they was definitely very big into martial arts and everything like that, and we always knew each other from growing up in the same exact neighborhood. And one day, they introduced me to that. Came over to their house, and I started seeing them sparring. Definitely seeing footage of them doing their own like Wing Chun and MMA stuff, and they invited me over. I remember they put me through a workout one day, and it was tough. It was shocking to not being able to last not even like 10 minutes into a workout with them. Something that we should all be able to do, and I wasn't able to do it. But it didn't really capture on until after high school. After high school, pretty much you're really on your own, trying to find answers, finding your purpose. And, it was definitely a wake-up call just one day, waking up and really wanting to do this, but more so for myself, It wasn't for nobody else, I definitely took the bull by the horns, and I did it on my own, no matter how hard it was. I trained my butt off inside my room every single day. Now, after that weight loss, it made me realize how much more I'm actually capable of doing with my body. That's when I really started going pedal to the metal when it came to training. I started getting into a lot more things, got into boxing, got into weightlifting a whole lot more. And road biking was something else I also got into, Growing up, I always loved riding my bike, but after the surgery, it was something I couldn't really get back into. I had a goal in mind, and I wasn't going to stop until I achieved it, and that's exactly what I did. Within those 8 months, I came back and everybody saw me again, and I was a whole lot lighter than before. I felt a whole lot more better. I was a whole lot more confident, and my smile was a lot more bigger. My battle with cancer has definitely been a very big reason why I wanted to be a personal trainer. Going through my weight loss journey, it definitely showed me how much it made me feel a lot better about myself, and that kind of feeling was something I really wanted to help other people also feel. Anybody who's struggling, either making that big step in their own weight loss journey, it was a way for me to really tell them my story, but also show them why I push as hard as I do these days. Joining Spartan Gym Strength and Conditioning, and within their first year moving to a whole entire new location, I ended up being an instructor for the group classes. It was definitely a very fun and different experience from being just a regular person trainer doing one-on-ones, helping one person here and there. instructing multiple people at the same exact time. It was definitely a very, very cool experience. I really enjoy doing what I'm doing now. Working there has definitely helped me still be consistent with weight training. I started getting back into boxing around that same exact time again. Used to go down to Front Street Gym. One cool thing about Spartan Gym, it opened a different door for me. A lot of people there in Spartan Gym were very big into Spartan races. At that time, I really didn't know what a Spartan race was, and that same exact first year, I got up to the point where I was confident enough to join them on the first Spartan race they wanted to do as a team. And it was definitely a very cool experience. We did a Citizens Bank Spartan race back in 2018, and it was definitely tough. It's something my body could handle but couldn't handle at the same exact time. Now, being able to complete my very first Spartan race, it was definitely a very big accomplishment to me. It's something back then I really didn't think I was going to be able to do at a time. So it was very cool. I pushed myself very hard for that race the very first time. I'm also very grateful for all the people that I also train, because it's not just me trying to help them become their best version. They also helped me still become my best version as well. They always kept me on track. That race definitely showed me pretty much to fight against all odds. It was something like I said, it's something I always never thought I was going to be able to do one day, and actually did on that same day. And it was with 2019. Now that year was a whole lot different. This is pretty much where round two really started. Round two, when it came to, all right, my fight against cancer really isn't done. And this is when I realized that the residual effects of my first surgery, as a kid, had definitely came back to haunt me this year. You might think that it's a one and done type of thing. All right, I'm cured, did my first surgery, finished chemo, I should be 100% cured. That's it, I'm not worry about this no more. I can live my life the way I want to. And it definitely wasn't that. It's definitely a very traumatic experience near the end of 2019. Following up with my surgeons and doctors, they told me over the years I've developed a lot of stress fractures in my leg, because I've been a lot more mobile, definitely doing a lot more things. Obviously doing weight training, boxing, and road cycling. It's definitely a lot of pressure, a lot of movement in my leg, and it's something that's not able to really handle too much for such a prolonged amount of time. Having such a complex surgery at such a young age, a metal rod does not grow. Bone grows, metal rod does not grow. So my right leg definitely grew the same rate it's supposed to grow. My left leg stayed the same exact length. So pushing hard, having two different sized legs, is definitely a lot more stress on my bad leg. So it definitely caught up to me. Early 2020, January 6, 2020, when I had my second surgery, it was pretty much a revision of my first surgery. The same exact thing. They had to replace everything. It's something I knew where, all right, I could definitely get myself through this a lot more faster than me being a kid. I had the experience of being a trainer to really whip myself back up to shape right afterwards. But one of the hardest things to accept was kind of hitting rock bottom once again, because I'm gonna be back at that point where I know I'm not gonna be able to do everything until I get better again. And I knew the first time around, it took me a very long time to get back into the shape I was right now, and to go through all of that all over again, to also put everybody I know through that again. Now, after my second surgery, the most important thing was to pretty much recover and go back to training once again, and really, not stalling out in life for too much. Months after my surgery, I was still in a wheelchair, but I was doing physical therapy at least 3 times a week, having to get my ability to walk again. That was the very hardest thing. Getting my ability to walk again, getting the range of motion back in my knee was definitely the hardest thing this time around. Pain levels, oh man, was through the roof trying to bend that knee back. And I knew I was definitely gonna be stubborn with it. You know, I really tried to force myself to do a little bit too much too fast, and obviously that gets the best of everybody. One thing that was very cool, being surrounded by friends and family, helped me out a whole lot in recovering. Especially, you know, even the gym family came through a whole lot. You know, they fundraised some money for me. You know, they came through for me. They really had my back on this surgery. You know, I really missed everybody over there, and they were definitely there for me during those during that recovery time. Despite how hard it was with my battle against cancer, one thing I never let it do is change who I am as a person. You know, one thing, I didn't become bitter towards the world. I didn't become bitter towards people just because I've been through multiple setbacks and obstacles. You know, they don't let it make me a nasty person towards the world, no matter how hard it was. You know, I've been very grateful, very blessed, despite going through those obstacles. You know, I think one thing I show people is definitely how to love themselves, how to be compassionate towards others, instead of leaving something behind, something like hate or bitterness, just because life didn't go the way you planned it to be. I didn't plan to have cancer. It's something that life planned to happen for me, pretty much. Thank you guys for listening to my story. It's definitely a story that hasn't been finished yet. It's still being written to this day. But I'm still here, still standing, and many blessings to you guys all.
That's a wrap.